All right, guys, what's up? I've got something really concerning and disturbing to share with you today. I'm coming to you from your local Costco parking lot. I just felt really moved and really wanted to make this video right now. I'm thinking about this all day because I've been doing research on this lately. But before we get to that, a little about myself. I used to be, funny how I say used to, but I used to play a lot of sports. Excuse me. I used to play a lot of sports. Was very athletic. I'm still in pretty good shape, but I don't get around as much. So I've always taken care of my body for the most part, I would say. When I was younger, I had chips and soda and stuff. But after a while, when I got to college, I kind of cut all that out and was like, really just wanted to focus on my health because, I take my body pretty seriously. I try not to eat stuff that's overly fatty. Try to eat a lot of vegetables, a lot of fruit. I try not to always eat what I want to eat, but I eat what is good for me. And that's like a hard thing for a lot of people to do, But so I'm really, really into health. You could call me a health freak. A lot of people would probably consider me a freak, but in like a good way. I can still enjoy like fried foods and chips and all that stuff. But after college, I moved to the city of Berkeley, land of the hippies and free speech and all that good stuff. But there in Berkeley, I learned a lot of things, but I learned about gardening. I actually still live in Berkeley right now, but I learned about gardening, and I actually, work with the soil. I grow my own food. Not all of I grow food. I know the source, so I'm really into where the food comes from and what the hell's in the food, because you don't know what's in the food, but I kind of do now. And I wanted to share with you some stuff that is pretty shocking and it's affecting everyone's health. And it's not like a conspiracy theory or anything. It's just some shit they put in your food that people eat, and it's not like a big surprise. So what I want to tell you guys about is something called glyphosate. Glyphosate, glyphosate. And I don't know if you guys have heard of weed killers. When you have a lawn, there's weeds that come up. A lot of people, instead of being, taking out the weeds or whatever, they just like, oh, why don't you spray it? Spray something on it. It'll do the job. It's basically poison. It poisons the plant, kills the plant, and the plant is gone, and you're weed free. But they've also applied that for food, because when you're growing something, and I love plants. I guess I have models of, these are fake plants, but that's with a plant, with food. So when you grow plants, there's another one. When you have plants, and let's say that this is spinach or something, right? You're growing that, and what happens is like there's bare dirt that's, surrounds the plant, and usually the more plants there are, like let's say this purple thing is a weed here, and you're a farmer and you're growing these two spinach plants. So this purple plant is gonna take up nutrients from the other plants, and it like water, maybe block out some of the sun, and even root space. So these spinach plants aren't gonna get as big and vigorous as they normally would. So, you could pull it out by hand and then make space. A lot of farmers ain't got time for that. They've got like, millions of plants, thousands of acres they need to tend to, and they just want to get the job done. So they spray something on called, like I said, glyphosate, and then the weeds die. But what happens is like that glyphosate is now sprayed on these other plants here, and then you think about sprinklers and stuff and rain when it waters it. That glyphosate also is not only is it absorbed through the leaf, but it is absorbed into the soil and into the roots. So the whole plant It's basically poisonous now. If you want to eat glyphosate, eat these plants. And it's crazy how widespread this is. Glyphosate is an active ingredient in this weed killer called Roundup, which is made by Bayer. They also make a lot of pharmaceutical things. I think aspirin, stuff like that, Tylenol. So Bayer, Monsanto, yes, they are the same company, and they spray this stuff on almost everything. Well, not almost everything, but it's in everything. So here's a little list I compiled today of stuff that's in. It's in alfalfa, right? But I don't eat alfalfa, but you know who does? The cows. So all the beef is contaminated with Roundup, with glyphosate. Corn, the number one crop in America, in the United States, corn. It's in corn. All the corn, most of it, like 90% of it, is GMO, and it uses glyphosate. It's also in soy. Most of the soy crops grown in the United States use glyphosate. And I think they're genetically modified as well, too. That's a double whammy. And so you think, I'm going to have some tofu, be healthy, and things like that. It's maybe healthier because you're not contributing to global warming. But you're not really that healthy because you're eating all this glyphosate. It's in oranges. I just found that out recently. I only thought it was only in a few other things. Looked it up. It's not like a secret. Oranges. Orange juice and oranges are pretty contaminated with glyphosate. Sad. But you can get organic oranges because that will not have that in there. And then it's also in wheat. So most of the wheat grown in the United States, which is used to make bread, pasta, beer, pizza, crackers, goldfish, all that stuff, it's got glyphosate in. And you wonder why people are like allergic to gluten and things like that. Well, maybe because they changed the formula and added some poison to it. Maybe, I don't know. So it's kind of like all the American staples, understandably, because these are the things that sell the most. These are the things that make the most money. These are the things that people demand the most of. So they're gonna grow these on a mass scale, and of course, no one's gonna weed it by hand because they don't want to do that. So glyphosate it is. It's also lentils. You think you're being healthy eating lentils, but if they're not organic, it's most likely gonna have glyphosate. It's in almonds. It's also in grapefruit too. So, and those are the main ones, and of course some fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. But because it's it's so widespread in the United States and nearly all the food. I mean, I just went to Costco where I'm making this video from the parking lot. And it's in the pasta, it's in the bread, it's in like the Doritos chips, it's in the Frito-Lay chips, it's in the potato chips, it's in all the cookies, it's in like the popcorn, it's in the orange juice, it's in like the chicken, all the stuff with the meat and the beef. Yes, I know, it's kind of sad. The whole damn most of Costco's food has glyphosate in it. But I mean, that's no surprise, right? Because America is just so fucking healthy. Yeah, we're so healthy. People have like I think the cancer is one of the top 3 killers in the United States. Heart disease, I forgot the other one, but they're all lifestyle diseases. Well, why is glyphosate so bad? You're like, it's just chemicals, chemicals exist in nature. Well, sip on some Roundup and tell me how you feel. Go to your hardware store, go to Home Depot and get some Roundup and let me know how that tastes, brother. So, and you can look this up yourself, but glyphosate is known to cause cancer. It damages your gut microbiome in your stomach. There's like this whole microbiome, like there's a whole world of bacteria, beneficial bacteria, and they really support your body's processes, and they've been linked to depression, anxiety, your mood. So basically, when you don't have a lot of the good bacteria and you've killed them off with like glyphosate or other crap you put in your body, it's going to result in anxiety and depression, because a lot of serotonin, which is like the chemical that is responsible for making you feel happy, it's scientists have now found that 90% of serotonin is generated in your gut, in your stomach. So the food you eat really matters a lot. I mean, you are what you eat, literally. So people, wake up. Glyphosate also contributes to this thing called leaky gut syndrome, which is basically when you have like holes in your stomach, and then leads to chronic inflammation, malabsorption, nutrient deficiency, you get bloated, you don't feel good. I think a lot of people have this and they don't really know, or like some acute form of it. But yeah, leaky gut syndrome. Liver damage, kidney disease, reproductive problems, and birth defects. I mean, it makes sense. You're putting a poisonous chemical into your body, and this is what happens. In fact, the WHO has deemed glyphosate a probable carcinogen to humans by the world. The World Health Organization has deemed glyphosate to be a probable carcinogen, and it's a real problem, guys. It's a real problem. What can we do about it? Well, a lot of organic products that are listed as organic are not allowed to use glyphosate in their food. When they're growing it. So I would go for organic. Organics have definitely has less of it, if not none of it. There's this new label that they're coming up with saying like glyphosate free. So if you see that label on there, you know that it doesn't have any glyphosate, or so they say. But at least that's a step further, a step better than eating glyphosate and not knowing what's in it at all. Yeah, it's a real problem, It's in beer, it's in all these things that are staples of our American diet. Ketchup, ice cream. I mean, the list goes on. It's in everything. And even for the people that don't eat meat and chicken, that are like a vegetarian, it's in all that stuff too. So this is quite unfortunate. And I hope that more people know about this, talk about it, and we can demand change and get this crap out of our food system, because it's so messed up that that this stuff is in our food. I know the people that are growing this food are not eating it because they know it's in there and they don't want to eat this shit. Who does? That's really gross. But we all are, and that's a real problem. All right, that's been your little daily dose of news today. Glyphosate, look it up. Roundup, Monsanto, Bayer, it's in everything. But that's right. Now you know, and now you can avoid it. Stay tuned for more episodes where I'll be discussing other topics related to health, so you can have a healthier, happier life and healthier body, and feel better physically. Until next time, peace.